Alright, moving forward, guys, I know we got this fight card coming up tonight. Fabricio Werdum, here we are looking at the card here on the video cast versus Marcin Tybura. Brazil versus Poland. Marcin Tybura 16-2, going up against Fabricio Werdum, who's ranked number 2 right now, 21-7. Fabricio Werdum is really trying to make his way back to the top. For those of you who don't remember, Fabricio Werdum was the former champion. He beat Cain Velasquez until he ran into Stipe Miocic in Brazil. This was a great night of fights too. Chris Cyborg made her debut this night. Little Nog was on this card getting the win. This card was stacked. Damian Maia was on this card beating Matt Brown, I believe. I think that was the same card. I mean, it's kind of funny how things circle back to one another. So, he loses the belt to Stipe Miocic, rushing forward, gets dropped. Ever since then, he's made a comeback, beating Travis Brown. He's beaten... The Travis Brown fight was awesome. Well, that was a spectacle all in itself. Comes out, jump in, heel kick to Travis Brown's face. After that, fight. Let's take a look here. After that, I'm pretty sure he fought. Well, we know that he just fought Walt Harris last week, or like 2 weeks ago, on that short notice fight, because he was supposed to fight Derek Lewis. And going back, this fight was originally supposed to be for Mark Hunt. That was who was originally supposed to be fighting Marcin Tybura. Alright, let's see here. Fabricio Werdum, his last couple of fights. So his last fight was against Walt Harris. He won by submission armbar just a month ago. Before that, he lost to Alistair Overeem in a decision, majority decision. That was about 4 months ago. Before that, he beat Travis Brown by decision. And then before that, losing to Stipe Miocic. So, win-loss, win-loss. And before that loss to Stipe, he beat Cain Velasquez by guilty choke. That was 2 years ago, almost 3. The Stipe Miocic fight was a year and a half ago. So ever since then, he's been trying to come back into place. The Alistair Overeem fight, a lot of people thought was really close. I scored that for Overeem. If we're looking at the other side, Marcin Tybura, man, he's on a 3-fight winning streak. Last time he lost was against Timothy Johnson, and that was a decision almost 2 years ago. So this is going to be a great fight. I'm leaning towards, I'm making my pick right now. I'm actually going to be betting on DraftKings tonight. But I'm going with Fabricio Werdum to win this by submission. I mean, it could go to a decision, 5 rounds. I don't know. I see this ending by submission, maybe even a knockout. But I'm guessing probably the 3rd round. So I'm going Fabricio Werdum 3rd round. Let's see what everyone is ranking in on Tapology.com. Seems like 84% of you guys are going Fabricio Werdum. And a good chunk of that, you guys have winning by submission. 80% of you guys have it winning by submission. 11% by TKO. 16% of you guys are going with Tybura, most likely by knockout. I mean, that could happen easily, but Werdum, man, he's a big dude. Let's not forget, back in the day, he's beat some big names. Fedor. Alright, so our co-main event, we got Rowdy Bec Rawlings, who's on a 2-fight losing streak right now, which is really scary if you're in the UFC and you have a 2-fight losing streak. This is a girl coming off that season, The Ultimate Fighter. She butted up with Angela Magana. Angela Hill was on that season. A lot of these girls that are in that weight division were all from that season of Ultimate Fighter. And you have 2 fights where you've lost in a row. Your back's up against the wall. If you lose one more, most likely UFC is not going to resign you. Bec Rawlings, I mean, I can see her going to Bellator, but she really needs a win. And she's taking on our girl Jessie Jess, who's making her debut, and she's on a 1-fight win streak. Before that, she lost 2. Jessie Rose Clark, aka Jessie Jess, making her debut here in the UFC. But I'm going with my girl Bec Rawlings. Most likely going to be a decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bec gets that. If she can get that submission, I wouldn't be surprised. But let's play it safe. I'm going Bec Rawlings via decision on this one. Let's see what you guys are ranking on Tapology. 74% of you guys are going with Bec Rawlings. 26% going with Jessie Jess. And you know what? I wish Jessie Jess the best. I hope Jessie Jess wins. It's hard, and when you're in the media, and you talk to these fighters, they're following you on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or they've been on your show, it's hard, man, to make picks because you don't want to piss anybody off. You don't want to rub anybody the wrong way. But at the same time, it's a sport. You got to remember that, guys. For all the fighters out there that get upset when you hear people pick against you, you think that they're their friends. It's a sport, and we're just giving our honest opinions to in my case, my listeners, or here at the Pure Evil MMA family. So going with Beck Rawlings, Jesse just can squeeze this out by a decision, though. Anything can happen in MMA. Let's face it, anything can happen. Jessie just going in this with a 7-4 record. She fights out of Australia. I mean, you got two Aussie girls going at it. But Jessie just training over at Syndicate MMA with some big dogs over there like Serena. You got Roxy. You got a couple of guys from Season Ultimate Fighter. All over there. The Cookie Monster. Alright, Tim Means versus Bilal Muhammad is also on this card, guys. Bilal Muhammad coming over from Titan FC, which reminds me, oh my god, and I missed this in the news recap at the beginning of the podcast. Last night, Titan FC, Jose Shorty Torres goes in there and stunts on them all. Faced some adversity, though. I mean, he was going into this fight head up high, training with TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson. And usually the way that Titan FC works, this is why I stopped at Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad was the Titan FC champ a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, I'd say. And with UFC Fight Pass sponsoring Titan FC, you're seeing a lot of the guys over at Titan come up and rise in the ranks here in the UFC. So Titan FC, they got this guy named Jose Shorty Torres. You guys probably know him if you've been listening to Pure Evil MMA. He's been on here like 3-4 times now. Thanks to Brian Levick. Rest in peace. I just found out Brian Levick passed away a week after my birthday. I talked to him 2 days before my birthday and just found out last night. Now, I didn't know what was going on with this. I didn't know if he was mad at me because last time I talked to him, I gave him my schedule. And I have to take my hat off and thank Brian Levick, King Lev, for sculpting my media career here. He's booked at least 60% of the interviews that you guys have all heard here on Pure Evil MMA. So with the loss of Brian Levick, it's sad. I have my fingers crossed for Jose Shorty Torres to win last night. I mean, that connection there, pushing forward, facing adversity, had a rough first round. I mean, I scored 2 rounds for his opponent. Some of you guys out there were scoring at 1-1, I saw, using hashtag TitanFC46. But in the third round, Shorty Torres takes it up a notch. Pours on the pressure. His opponent tires himself out. Shorty Torres ends up squeezing out the win and takes the mic and goes, what else do I need to do? A gladiator moment. Are you not entertained? What does this guy need to do to be signed to the UFC? Calls out Dana White and tells him, I've done all I can do here at Titan FC. I've moved up a weight division. I've defended my titles. Give me my shot in the UFC. And this is a guy, Kamaru Usman was commentating last night for Titan FC. And he said, this is a guy that can face the top 10 in that division right now in the UFC. Let's book it. What is taking so long to book Jose Shorty Torres? He's training with TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson. You guys just heard me name off all these A-listers that this guy's training with. And last night, man, it was just so impressive. It was just such a big moment. My hat's off to Jose Shorty Torres. And hopefully we will see this guy in the UFC. You guys should tweet out to Dana White. Let Dana know. Sign Jose Shorty Torres. Use hashtag Team Shorty. Alright, so let's move forward here. Bilal Muhammad has a really tough fight in front of him with Tim Means. Bilal, though, he's on a 2-fight winning streak right now, and he's only lost 2 fights his entire career, and those 2 fights both came in the UFC. His debut fight against Alan Jouban, very close fight, almost finished Alan in the 3rd round. That was his debut about a year and a half ago. Then he has a win against Augusto Montano, and then that loss at UFC 205 where he came on Pure Evil MMA, and his opponent fell out, but I believe his opponent was Lyman Good. His opponent fell out of the fight, and it was such a big deal to be on UFC 205 fighting at Madison Square Garden. He did not want to let this opportunity slip through his hands, so he takes the fight with Ultimate Fighter veteran Vicente Luque, and unfortunately loses via TKO. But ever since that moment, 1 year ago, UFC 205, he's been able to string along 2 wins against Randy Brown and Jordan Mean. But now he has a very tough opponent in front of him with Tim Means, who's on a one-fight winning streak with his last win about 4 months ago against Alex Garcia. His last loss coming to Alex Oliveira via submission. You guys remember that? Kind of a crazy tale there. They fought twice. The first fight, there was a knee to a downed opponent of Tim Means, and they had to run that one back. So, Bilal Muhammad versus Tim Means. I don't know which one you guys are feeling here, but Bilal Muhammad, earlier rounds, I'm taking TKO second rounds, but Tim Mean, man, he can get it. I mean, we've seen him knock dudes out. Jesus, I mean, this is a really tough one, guys. Some of you guys might argue that Tim Means is the veteran here, but that doesn't always mean the better fighter. I'm taking Bilal Muhammad. Let's see what you guys think on Topology. 77% of you guys are going with Tim Means, 23% going with Bilal, and a good chunk of you guys think that Tim Means is going to be doing it by TKO. I'm going with Bilal Muhammad, TKO round 2. I'll eat it if that doesn't come true. You guys can rag on me all you want. Who else we got on this card? All right, so Jake Matthews, who's on a 2-fight losing streak right now against 2 tough opponents. I mean, Andrew Holbrook lost split decision, and then Kevin Lee. Before that, he was on a 2-fight winning streak, beating Johnny Case and Areola. But you know, Jake Matthews, I've seen better days, and he's fighting a guy. I think he has a good chance to win this fight here. He's facing the welterweight Bojan Velikovic. He was coming off a loss to Darren Till, matter of fact, about 2 months ago. So this is a guy who can knock you out too. This is going to be a good fight. I'm rooting for Jake Matthews. I hope he wins. I'm going with Jake to win this by submission. Round number 2. I'm picking all second rounds here. Let's see what you guys think. 65% of you guys are going with Jake Matthews. 35% going with Velikovic. All right, let's point out a couple more fights here. Elias Theodorou is going to be fighting. He was supposed to be coming on the show this week, but a lot of media reservations. He's going to be fighting Dan Kelly, who's coming off a loss to Derek Brunson. But you know what? Dan Kelly, man, he is such a dark horse in the UFC. Not many people give him the credit that he really deserves, I feel. You know, not many people see in their heads Dan Kelly become champion, but you know, at 40 years old, man, this guy is one tough son of a bitch, and Elias got to be careful. He's coming off a loss right now to Brad Tavares a couple of months back. He needs this win really badly. You know, he beat Sam Alvey. He beat Cesar Ferreira. Get a win over Dan Kelly. That's a huge name in your book. 78% of you guys are going with Elias to win by decision. You know what? I see that. I could see that happening. I see Elias winning by decision. I got to agree with you guys there. I think that it's funny, on Tapology, they have a picture of Elias with short hair, matter of fact. That's an old fucking picture. Jesus. I'm going with Elias to win that by decision. So let's point out a couple of other fights here that you guys should definitely keep your eyes out for. And the fights are going to be starting really soon. We got Ryan Benoit, however you want to say his name, against Ashkan Makatran. This is going to be an exciting fight. The reason being, Ryan Benoit, I mean, there's this one fight that he took on short notice against Ben Nguyen. Was it against Ben Nguyen? I mean, that was a while ago. I think it was against Ben Nguyen. Yeah, about 2 years ago now. Wow. Wow, I'm taking that in. 2 years ago, he lost via rear naked choke against Ben Nguyen. But you know what? He took that fight on short notice, I believe, and really shocked a lot of people. I mean, he was piecing up Ben Nguyen. Yell at me if I'm getting this wrong. I swear it's this fight. Ryan Benoit against Ashkan. Ashkan, one fight losing streak against John Moraga, but before that, man, just tearing it up, beating a bunch of dudes. Only has 2 losses. This is a tough one, man. Jesus. Let's see what you guys think on Tapology. 75% of you guys are going with Benoit to win by decision. 25% of you guys are going with Makatran. You know what? I'm going to go with Ashkan on this one. Even though I'm saying watch out for Ryan, I'm going with Ashkan to win this by knockout. Probably in the first. I'm going to go with the first round. I might be wrong. Good chance I'm wrong on that one. But that's, for some reason, that's where my head's going. Will Brooks versus Nick Lentz. Will Brooks on a 2-fight losing streak, believe it or not. Can you believe that? Nick Lentz is a tough cookie too, but he's on a 1-fight losing streak. He's hot and cold. But Will Brooks, man, if he gets a loss, I don't know what the UFC is going to do with him. This is just scary. I mean, coming over from Bellator at the top of his game, he makes his debut, wins against Ross Pearson, but ever since then, losing to Alex Oliveira, losing to Charles Oliveira. I mean, as long as your last name's not Oliveira, I guess you're going to win the fight. But Will Brooks, man, I'm going with him to win this. Let's see. I don't know, maybe by decision, I would say. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go Will Brooks via decision. And Nick Lentz, man, I don't know. He's hot and cold, like I said, but he can win this fight. 89% of you guys are saying Brooks to win it, 11%. A lonely 11% going for Nick Lentz. And you know what? You guys could be right there. Anthony Hamilton is also on this card. That's going to be a fun one. He's going to be going against Adam Witzorek. 3-fight losing streak for Hamilton. If he loses this next one, I don't know. And he's been fighting some tough guys. Losing Daniel Spitz, losing to Marcel Fortuna, losing to Francis Ngannou. I mean, 3 tough dudes. And then you got Adam, who's just been on a tear, on a nice win streak here. But here's the thing. How is he going to be able to handle his UFC debut? I think that's where Anthony Hamilton is really going to stretch it out. If he gets the win here, though, on his debut, beating Anthony Hamilton, I mean, I think that will be Anthony's time. Probably getting his slip to leave the UFC. That's just my guess. And let me know what you guys think about this on Twitter. Let me pull up the Sydney card. My bad on that. I should have pulled up the Sydney card on the video cast a little sooner. But guys, there's a lot of great fights going down tonight. Let me know what your picks are, and good luck to everybody using UFC Pick'em. Just a quick rundown. Damian Brown versus Frank Camacho. Alex Chambers versus Nadia Kassim, also on this card. Eric Shelton versus Janelle Luza. Tai Tuivasa versus Rashad Coulter. If you guys remember Rashad, he had that amazing fight with Chase not too long ago. That was his last fight about 6 months ago. One of the best fights of Chase's career. We really saw Chase put together, connect the dots with his game. Really needs this win though tonight. I mean, if I had to pick, I'd go with Rashad on this one. I think Rashad has what it takes to beat Tai Tuivasa, but guy's undefeated. Gotta remember that. But he's also making his debut here. And there's a lot of crazy fights here on this card. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going with Rashad to win this by knockout in the first round. Let me know what your guys' picks are on Twitter at Evil_Echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. I'm going to be doing the recap directly after, so you do not want to miss that. And you can catch it all mymmanews.com. I'll check you guys in a little bit. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. mymmanews.com. Good luck tonight, guys. And most of all, behave yourselves.